Hey everyone, this is Jen and you're watching BPD Woman. On this channel, you will learn how to more effectively manage your borderline personality disorder, your CPTSD, or you'll learn to live more effectively and manage your emotions in a more productive manner if you consider yourself to be a highly sensitive person that has trouble managing your emotions. My aim is to share my wisdom and experience after living with BPD for the last 30 years and being diagnosed for the last 20. I am not a doctor or a therapist or a psychologist. However, I have spent years and money and resources and really dedicated research, including multiple rounds of DBT, reading every book, so that I can better equip myself with skills and tools to help me achieve the goals that I want and live a more effective life. And while I am not a therapist, I can answer one question that those folks cannot, which is, what is it like to have BPD? And in having that gives me the perspective to really share insights with you that providers cannot. And even though it is extremely useful and beneficial to have a specialist provider, they just simply don't know what it's like to live with it, right? They'll say, oh yeah, I know what it's like. They don't know. So I produce anywhere from 3 to 5 videos a week, always something new. And if you're a family member or friend, there's also a playlist for you entitled Vids for the Family Resources, so check that out. If that all sounds good to you, well then what are you waiting for? Hit subscribe and that bell below and let's get going. So, as I mentioned, I produce all kinds of different topics, different lengths, and today I want to do a quick fire video about something that happened to me. And sometimes I do these like emotional vlogs based on my own experiences of the day. And I want to talk about text messages, why it's so stressful to wait for a text message, why it's so anxious inducing to like look at the phone and wait and wonder, you know, why don't I see the little bubble writing, you know, they were online 5 hours ago, but they didn't reply to my message from 6 hours ago, like what gives? And you can even just, in me like, saying that out loud, I felt a sense of anxiety come up. And that's because well, it's really going to come down to one core thing, which is we don't feel good enough. And we think people are going to leave us because we're not good enough. And so we take this interpretation in this mirror of the phone and how many friends we have and how many people text us back and how many likes we get on social media and how many views we get and how many, you know, responses to our dating profiles. And we use these as metrics or markers of our own self-worth. And I do it too, to this day, to a smaller degree. So let's quickly talk about this. So when you've developed I've talked about this many times, that living in a state of ambiguity can be very difficult, especially if you have low self-esteem or you haven't built up enough self-esteem, right? And so in these sorts of periods where you're feeling really unsure about yourself, you may turn the mirror out to other people. Hey, do you know something about me that I don't know? Am I a good person? Am I not a good person, right? Like you sort of hand over the torch to let them tell you if you're good enough. And so the phone can be especially tricky because sometimes you get in a certain pattern of texting with someone. You know, for me, like I like to go off patterns and predictability, right? And so if I usually text with somebody all throughout the day, and if I usually hear from somebody at a certain time, or if someone's generally in a specific mood or something like that, and then suddenly there's a deviation and they're not like that anymore, I get really stressed out. I'm like, why aren't I hearing from them? You know, I'll go through past messages, I'll reread them, or I'll listen to my voice notes, like, did I say something wrong? Well, fuck them, you know, well, I guess I'm just a piece of shit, you know, and you start inventing subtext and explanations that you really haven't verified or that you really don't have facts for. And when you find that, you know, you're starting to guesstimate why you haven't heard from someone, or, you know, why they seem like they're in a terse mood, then you default to, well, it's because of me, they don't like me, I'm yucky, blah, blah, blah. And so I want to give you 2 tips to combat this. The first thing that I want you to do, okay, is, and I actually want you to challenge yourself. So I don't want you to practice blocking people. I don't want you to turn the phone off unless you're really extremely emotionally dysregulated and you feel like you're going to say something that's going to, you know, hurt the other person and make you feel bad about yourself. And then okay, take a break from the phone or social media. I'm not on social media, and this is one of the biggest reasons why. So instead, tell yourself the following: I'm a great person. That's it. I'm a great person. I'm cool. I'm going to read my I love me list. You know, I did this video about how to use your phone as a resource to combat, you know, feelings of inadequacy and help deal with your BPD. You know, I love me. I'm a really great person. I'm super cool. I really give all of my all to my friends. You know, I'm really giving, you know. I like who I am. I haven't done anything wrong, okay? Because that's really what's at the heart of this wondering, where are they? Why aren't they responding? I'm feeling really anxious about things. I don't think I have any friends. Did I do something wrong? You know, and sometimes that can be even compounded when, like, maybe you're not hearing from 3 or 4 people that you normally hear from every day, right? And so when you have more people that you're not hearing from in the one time frame or a span of time, then you worry even more. And that just seems to be more confirmation of, well, you know, okay, I haven't heard from one person, I haven't heard for 2 or 3. Oh my gosh, did they read something online about me and I'm a piece of shit, right? So the first thing you're going to do is just remind yourself that you're a good person and you're good enough and you're human and you're worthy of friendship and you're worthy of love and you're doing the best that you can, okay? That's number 1, being gentle with yourself. The second thing is to take your crystal ball and throw it away, because a lot of this interpretation and mind reading, which is exactly what it is, and mind reading is a cognitive distortion, and I'll put up a link to a cognitive distortion video I did, is that all mind reading does is get you into trouble and create anxiety. And when you start going down this path of, you know, I know they're not texting me because they don't like me, or I know that they must hate me, or, you know, well, let me send them 5 more messages to ask them things like, do you like me? Are we good? Did I do anything wrong? Oh, I thought you might be mad at me. I mean, occasionally I still do this, but really try to not do that, because all it's going to do is kind of key them in that something may be wrong. And where they weren't thinking that there was something wrong with your friendship, maybe they do now, right? And so stop this interpreting, this negative interpreting, and replace it with something else, okay? Well, my friend said she was having, and this happened to me today. I was like, why haven't I heard from my friend? I normally hear from my friend. And I did hear from her, but just not as much as I normally did. And so then I started thinking, well, she's texted me 6 times, but that's only because, you know, she is just trying to wean herself away from me and doesn't want to hurt my feelings, you know. So instead, I'll say to myself, okay, well, maybe she had a really busy day. It's Monday, you know. She told me she was really busy. Maybe she's really overwhelmed, you know. Don't forget that other people have their mental health problems. Maybe she's really stressed at work, you know. Maybe she's having, you know, she was busy talking to people all day and now she doesn't want to talk to anybody else for the rest of the day. I've been there, you know. Maybe something else is going on, or she's getting her period and she doesn't feel well. You know, I mean, like, there could be stress, right? She just might not be in the mood to engage. And certainly when I haven't felt in the emotional mindset to engage, then I don't, because I know that it's generally not going to be very helpful. So these are 2 things that you can use to combat against this anxiety of where my friend's at, where's my self-worth at. You don't need your friends to tell you that you're a good person. Of course, it helps that people are texting you and, you know, you see all those in your inboxes, but at the core of it, you're going to say to yourself, I'm a good person, I'm worthy, and that's that. And I don't know why I haven't heard from them. And that ambiguity and that sitting in that space and waiting for things to play out, I know is tough. But if you go back to, I'm a good person and I'm awesome and I haven't done anything wrong, I don't need to make amends, then that really takes off that edge of the waiting game. My name is Jen. You've been watching BPD Woman. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. Like, share, comment, and until I see you next time in everything you do, please be effective.